I feel a little blind this morning. I don't know, maybe because I was just tossing and turning the whole night, but this is not about me. I'm here. You guys are very funny. Anyways, let me stop laughing and get to wow, you guys blowing up my email. Y'all are blowing up my email inbox. Let me just put my hands in the pocket. It's still early in the morning and it's cold. Let's see. Okay, I'm not smoking. You know, nah, I actually like it. I am one of those people that take pleasure in saying, I told you. I told you so. I don't know what sort of pettiness is that. But, anyways, let me try and increase my voice and sound a little more assertive. Because this topic, for me, it's a non starter. We have the wrong people in parliament. And I've said this since the day these people wanted to make the poorest of the poor of this country more poorer, when they voted in favor of increasing the value added tax, VAT. That's when I knew we have the wrong people in parliament. That's when I knew. I was like, and you must remember, this was just after the elections, like the following year. They were barely a year in parliament, these people. Barely a year. And I was like, hi, Bona. So is that what the poor did? Made the mistake of saying, okay, we are going to create something different this time around. Who knows? We might actually get served. No, they were so wrong. Some of these people, very questionable characters. And you wonder why today we have the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Listen, having the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry is not attributed to this cycle of parliament. It's the rot that started years ago. And guess who's always been there? Guess who's always been there? So when they got that 40%, 41%, all they needed to do is to look around and say, okay, who here will bend backwards for us? And they found them. And they call themselves the GNU. Okay, I don't want to lie. I was sold at first. Very sold. As a matter of fact, I even went as far as saying, giving good reviews because I thought maybe because we have this and this and that in the GNU, things are going to work out for us. That's what I thought. But the more you observed, listened, and then when they vote, and you're like, hang on a minute, we would not be having pala pala at all. No court reviews. We wouldn't even have a constitutional court battle. We would have had these people saying, hey, Mr. President, you violated the Constitution. As a matter of fact, you are borderline committing a crime. And you need to go to a criminal court and answer those questions. So as Parliament, we are voting you out. But no, they didn't. And what did the Constitutional Court do? It says he needs to go through impeachment process. And who has the egg on their face? The people we voted for. So clearly, they have no interest in defending us in that parliament. But to defend the president, we even seen our own public protector, who no longer is the public protector in my eyes. She's the president's protector. Not only did she become the president's protector, but also the spokesperson for the president when it came to Pala Pala. Where was she protecting the people? The public? Nowhere. Nowhere. So when General Ntlanhla Mkhwanazi on the 5th of March 2025 went to Parliament Police Portfolio Committee and outlined everything that we are now hearing in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, what did they do? And what political parties are in the Police Portfolio Committee? Check the parties and tell me why none of them stood up for South Africans. Because clearly you have a police officer that is in distress and he has no door to knock in and invite it in so that he can outlay all the stuff that he did on the 6th of July 2025. That's when you knew you have the wrong people in Parliament. They continued to prove to some of us who are observing that Parliament that we have the wrong people there. Oh, little did we know that we are going to get more revelations. Whether those revelations are coming directly from the public or they are coming from the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Political interference indeed does exist because you even have police, top brass. When they are caught, you know what they say? This is political conspiracy. How are you as a police officer using political language? How are you as a police commissioner, deputy police commissioner, brigadier, whatever the case might be, you use words such as political conspiracy against me? Ingoba, because you became comrades. You invited politics into the public sector. And you know where politics exists, you're going to have to choose a side of the political party that you serve. In most cases, it is the ANC. Are you a Mbekiite? Are you a Zumaite? Are you a Ramaphosa, CR70? You have to choose. You have to choose. And when you do choose, guess who suffers? South Africans. South Africans are the ones that suffer because who cares about them and what they want? They're annoying. And so what transpired after the 6th of July? The president, he established a commission of inquiry called the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, put his terms of reference. And a lot of us were not happy that, yet another commission of inquiry, wasting of billions of rands. This one turned out to be different. And then what did you think Parliament did? They were like, it's not going to look good on us. We also need to establish not a commission of inquiry, but a parliamentary ad hoc committee, which comprises, once again, questionable members of parliament from all these different political parties. Some were even attending criminal cases. What do you take serious when somebody, you have an entire member of the ad hoc committee having their own criminal matter. And whenever they are not in the ad hoc committee, that entire political party, instead of being in the ad hoc committee to get to the truth about what Ntlanhla Mkhwanazi had made accusations of, they're all gone to the Eastern Cape. Right on your face. Because you're like, annoying. Oh, South Africans, you're annoying. That is why they can easily not come to the ad hoc committee. Because one of their demigod is in trouble with the law. And then there are others that are remaining behind. And you're like, okay, Nina, they have questionable characters themselves. Obatabile Dlamini, I don't think she did justice to the ANC NEC. She should have expanded herself a little bit and say, everybody in the ANC NEC have smaller yana skeletons, but not only the ANC, but that parliament as well. Everybody there has their smaller yana skeletons. And if it had to be exposed, all hell will break loose. All hell will break loose. She wouldn't be lying. She wouldn't be lying. I stopped watching the Error Committee probably its second week in because I guess I wanted to see if maybe I might be wrong. Maybe this batch of people, they really, really want to serve the people of South Africa. Then I listened and I was like, nah, 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 no. A big no. Yes, there were others that I thought, okay, I might not know much about your background, but there's still a question mark. There's still a question mark. The chairperson, they sounded like a noble person who has good integrity, but he comes from the ANC, unfortunately. So probably the only people that I did not look at with a side eye was the evidence leader and his team. Everybody, I had a question mark on them. And then I said, I'm done. I cannot subject myself being made a fool of by this bunch of people because they come from a whole lot others that are in that parliament and they are not serving us. 18 billion rand of pensioners' money was gambled away. That should have triggered an emergency meeting of National Assembly, a joint sitting of National Assembly, the National Council of Provinces, and even cabinet led by President Ramaphosa. That's what it should have triggered. If you guys had people that gave a little damn about you, but no, how many days now since we found out about the 18 billion rand? And if you are a public servant and you decide, well, I'm 65 now, it's time to retire, are you going to go away with your pension fund? Nobody's arrested or at least getting investigated? And who is responsible for this? It is your parliament. Yeah, those men and women that you voted for, sitting on their laurels. And you want us, let me speak for myself. And you want me to take them seriously? I told you so. I also said, this problem is easily resolved. We are headed to May 29th, 2026, which marks how many years since we went to these elections? Yeah. 2024, 2025. Next year, 2027, you and I should already started the process of calling for early elections. And let me tell you something. Time for you and me is ordinary. Remember that video? But time for politicians is a blink of an eye. But because we need to have this conversation, we must not get caught off guard because time blinked. And now we have surpassed that threshold that is provided for by the Constitution to call early elections. So starting now is what we need to do. Have a discussion, have a consensus as a country, because this batch of people that are our members of parliament, 2029, they would have destroyed this country. They would have destroyed this. In fact, they would have destroyed us. They would have destroyed us, those people. Now, the part that's making me laugh is y'all all angry at the ad hoc committee's preliminary report. I think it's a draft report on all the hearings that they've had. All the hearings, including Tlantam Kwanazi's accusations. Negative, 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 negative. Hey, Bo. In other words, if this is true, because it's a draft, drafts can be changed and reflect the truth. But then again, these are questionable characters. Why wouldn't they exonerate everybody that has been accused? And then Tlantam Kwanazi declared as a troublemaker. Why wouldn't they do that? Because from what I am hearing, I haven't seen the report. I'm not interested in the report. I will not even touching it with my hands, let alone my 4 eyes looking at it. Ew. I would not be doing that. But from what I am hearing, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. Now, if you are paying attention, there's also an impeachment committee on Pala Pala that was formulated. And if you think they are going to come to a conclusion that there is prima facie evidence that the president needs to be impeached, they're not going to do that. No, they're not going to do that. Why should they do that? To please you? Who are you to be pleased? One thing about us South Africans we never learn. You tell South Africans, boycott the spaza shops of the Somalis, Ethiopians, Pakistanis, and Bangladeshis. They don't do it. And then, here you busy scrolling on TikTok or on X or on Facebook. Suddenly, you come across a video. A woman wailing because her child that she gave 5 rand to go buy biscuits or chips, oh my friend, is now dead. And we keep saying, stop it. So now if you're not going to stop with death, why would you stop supporting these people in that parliament and believe everything that they say and they are going to do? They're not. They're going to disappoint you. They are going to disappoint you. A whole cabinet member came on national television unprovoked and called us all lazy. Told us when he was whatever old in the apartheid days where one black person can have 4 jobs in one day and still able to buy food, save money, and do other stuff with it. That he says he never looked for a job before. That's how banjwayela ngakhona. So when I saw the emails, y'all are angry. Why are you angry? Go, my question is, Mpilonle Pilayo, you as a South African, putting your faith in those people in that parliament. You believe in them so much. Yeah, that is why they know very well. They've studied us, these people, and they know exactly what we are going to do. And it's quite interesting how I'm observing political party campaigns for the 2026 local government elections. I know the momentum is going to build up, but in the yesteryears, as far as January, February, South Africa would be abuzz with political party campaigns. I know we live in a digital era, but the street polls will be filled with political party posters climbing on top of each other. And in 2026, you would swear that South Africa is not facing a local government elections. You know why? Because many South Africans, like me, well, I woke up a long time ago, have woken up. A lot of South Africans have woken up. And they're like, I'm done being made a fool of. I am done being made a fool of. What I would like to see is seeing more South Africans waking up, or at least take the chance to lift their bodies off that bed they're sleeping on, and try at least to set one foot on the floor, and they will realize that the ground is solid. I would love to see that. Because that's the only way, fellow South Africans, we can fight those people in that parliament. They exonerated everybody. Are they not watching the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry? Or maybe this is a plan to plant a seed in our heads that even the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry is just a smoke screen. I know, people. I believe me in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry strongly. It's real, and we are seeing action of the people accused. People attending court, criminal courts, mind you. Others, suddenly, as they go into the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, boom, 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 they are shot. Or they fall ill. Now they have to be rushed to the hospital. This is real. All emanating from the 6th of July, 2025. But the ERA committee said, what are y'all talking about? Are you sure your guys okay? There's nothing to see here. And now you are angry? Come on, guys. I think we need to be a little bit wiser. That's just my take. I think we need to be just a little bit wiser. We have the wrong people in parliament. The wrong people. Our solution is definitely an early elections. We need to meet the constitutional threshold of 3 years since the last elections. That's what we need to meet. This is frustrating. South Africa is frustrating, but I'm not surprised at all. I'm at peace. I'm at peace because I told you so. Now, the question is, as we are building up to the local government elections, what have you learned? This is the part where Inkanyako comes out and say, "Hi, when I cleanses, mina ngi-ANC eqinile." I want to say good luck to you. I want to say good luck to you. And yeah, I get it. There are people who are going to say, but Clancy's, who do we vote for? And I will always tell you, voting is your conscience. Your responsibility with your conscience is to do shopping. I don't know how many political parties have registered for you to vote for them for the local government elections. But you need to bother yourself. Check out their manifestos. Are these manifestos talking to you? Don't go to a popular party because it's been around and this is a party that it's always on your face, when you could actually be missing out on a political party that's really going to serve you. You guys already know where my heart is. My heart is with independent candidates. And I'm not talking just any independent candidate that tells you that you are xenophobic, you're Afrophobic, that tells you that, say something, end up clever nonsense in it with an accent. I don't know. It's your responsibility to do that. It's not mine. However, if I do find a political party that I think speaks to me, then I'll let you know. And if you want to vote along with me for that political party, still on you. Me, I'm just going to say, hey, I found a political party and I think this political party speaks to my morals, my values. It speaks to everything that I'm about, especially when it comes to my community, when it comes to everything, the Constitution of the Republic as well. It's having to be amended so that we get served. That is the party that I'll, if it's a party. If it's an independent candidate, I will tell you, this is the independent candidate that I feel comfortable voting for in my city. And if you feel like you live in the same city as I am, then yeah, vote for them. But to tell you which political party, I'm sorry, it's your conscience. That's what voting is all about, anyways. It's about you and that ballot paper in a voting booth. You have to ask yourself several questions when you are in there before putting your mark ngokupapa. Uthi mina ngi-eseqinile. Igile. You have to ask yourself some questions in there. Critical questions. Like, the last time I voted for this party, and this party did actually win in my ward, and it also won and became part of a coalition. In the past 5 years, or since 2021, when they took over the city, how has my life changed? Did it change for the better or did it change for the worse? That is a deciding factor where you put your X. And then before putting that X, ask yourself, if I abandon this party and try this independent candidate, I've heard him or her, their vision, the plan, and how I am going to live a different life. Ask yourself, will I see that different life? Different life, obviously, because you decided that, no, this party did not serve me. I'm in a worse position than I was in 2021, 5 years later. So I want something different. And will these independent candidates give it to me? That's when you put your X to say, I'm giving you a chance. You better change my life. And after giving them that X, mhlalela, you need to sit on them here. You have that right, fellow South African, that your counselor comes often, like regularly, to you guys. Because you elected this individual as your representative in city council. City council get budgets. And in that budget, you have to know how much did we get. And so that you guys as a community, you can prioritize with your counselor and say, no, Tina, we are sick and tired of sewage in front of our yards and our children getting ill and some even dying. So we need a new entire piping system. So can that budget be used for that? And then next year, another budget is going to be descended. And then you look around, hey, kids of my ward, they love sports, but they don't have sporting facilities. A nice amphitheater or a recreation center with soccer fields and tennis courts, a public swimming pool, and a basketball court, or whatever it is of the kids that are interested in sports there. Why? Because you will also be developing talent. Then you build that. Right? But you cannot have a counselor. After sitting them, you don't see them because they live in Sandton now. Do you think them living in Sandton, dressed in Louis Vuittons and sitting in some VIP club, drinking some expensive champagnes, do you think they're thinking about you? Come on. That is why you need to sit on your counselor la. As I saw, what did I do? Because it's your money. Anyways, let those who have ears hear. But I told you so. The current crop of political parties that we have in the city of Johannesburg, we saw what they did. They were playing Stockfell with your votes. They didn't think that this time will come. Suddenly now they are busybodies. At least Tshwane was lucky. Eventually, it got Dr. Miss Moya. Oh, she is cleaning Tshwane, that lady. And people of Tshwane, you need to agree. All of y'all. You need to agree that this is her. You found your servant for the next 5 years. She's proven herself over and again. She's wrestling with the bulls and buffaloes. Ekurhuleni, sad story, unfortunately. It's a sad story in Ekurhuleni. So you're the one who know what you are going through. So what am I saying? Don't make the mistake you made in that National Assembly. You need to be wise, guys. Take the t-shirt and throw it back on their faces. Don't take it. If they give you KFC, say no thank you. Ulambeswini, it's no thanks. Please. And I'm seeing a community being brought Jojo tank. They want a fish to be praised for swimming. And they're even wearing the regalia so that the people in that community remember it is the fish that wants to be praised for swimming that brought that Jojo tank. Hmm? I don't know. But what I like is that we are waking up. We are definitely waking up. But let me leave this video here. I've had a good laugh at your expense. They exonerated all of them. Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi was crazy. Hawa. That's the kind of parliamentarians you have. That ad hoc committee reflects all of them. I'll leave the video here. Please, whatever you do, enjoy your Thursday. Take care of yourselves. Take care of this country. Defend her honor. Bazama shame. Bazama. But do that. Take care of this country. Goodbye.